So we're going to start with the hands. The hands, we're going to need burnt sienna. So I'm using Liquitex burnt sienna. If you don't have Liquitex burnt sienna, I suggest you use cadmium red light, yellow ochre, and white. And for darks, you could use ultramarine violet or burnt umber. Okay, so I'm using here burnt sienna, and it's Winsor & Newton. It's this one. This. Yellow ochre, ultramarine violet, and white. This is this, ignore this color right there. This is a burnt sienna Liquitex. So the difference, I'm just showing the difference in color. Liquitex, I mean, Winsor & Newton burnt sienna has more orange in it. So it's really good for skin tone. Okay, so I'm gonna take burnt sienna. We can take just burnt sienna for now. Take a bit of ultramarine violet, put it in, and you'll see that it gives you a really beautiful brown. And for the, we'll start with the darks. Okay, we need to do that. Let's put some yellow ochre as well, because it's really dark. Oh, that's good. And I really want it to be dark enough so the parts where her skin is dark, it's inside, further back, should be dark enough, but not black. Okay. Again. At one point, we need to do this wet on wet, but for now, we're just trying to cover the black and get some darks in here, especially like between the fingers here, this part that you really can, you hardly see, but it's there. Okay. It's good. So we're not kind of covering right now the dark parts. I'm not too concerned about the white lines. You can get rid of them later on. Okay. Next step, we're going to use same burnt sienna, yellow ochre, and I'm going to pull a bit of white now, because I like to highlight slowly because I can control my highlights. And I'm going to take a touch of ultramarine violet in here. There. So my highlights are kind of mid-tone, not very light. I'm going to start from here. It looks now like it is light, very light. Let me see what you're seeing. Oh my God, not darker, way darker than what you're seeing in the camera. So I'm going to put ultramarine violet in here. And I know it looks too light, but in here, it's not that light. And I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do. It's the camera. Let's go in. It will dry darker, but if it doesn't, then I will adjust. Okay, now this is darker here, right? And this is lighter. So I can go a bit lighter in this areas here and keep this dark. So I'm gonna go back and I'm not gonna wait for it to dry. I'm gonna go in and take some ultramarine violet, just ultramarine violet, and just darken this. Now go back to that combination I had before, which is supposed to be dark. I mean, lighter. Okay, good. So now kind of better. I'm going to highlight a bit. So I'm going to take more white, put it in my burnt sienna and yellow ochre. You see here, when I went in and I found that it's too light, I just put ultramarine violet in there. And that just pushed it, you know, back into that darkish. Right? So I can control the amount of paint in here. Again. Now, when I get to this part, it's darker, right? So I can push my highlights in like that, slowly. So when I say highlights, it's not the highlight, strong highlight. And I'm really now, what I'm doing is I'm really simplifying all of the, you know, kind of details that you see on the hand. So you see more details in there. I'm not gonna go, you know, to that, but okay. Light right here. So you see, I did not push the light all the way out. Light right here. Then I'm gonna take a bit more of the highlighted, the lighter color, and I'm just gonna put the nail, a suggestion of the nail, and see if it works. If it doesn't work, I'm gonna ignore it. This is what I'm seeing, but I don't want to put a nail, like I don't want to go into that detail. That's too much detail, but I just want to do a suggestion of that nail. Ultramarine violet to darken a bit around it. See, like this is not working very well, so I'm going to ignore that. I'm adjusting the shape of that thumb. Is that the thumb?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so that's better. Much, much better. I'd like to darken a bit at the edge because there's kind of a light darker in here. Because those darks and light will shape the thumb. Okay, that's good for now. Right, let's continue. Start from here. This is where I see a highlight. Go down, down. And this is medium tone. It's not really like a strong highlight. Because I'm gonna keep room for more highlights. So I cannot, go with a strong white in there. Then I don't have room to highlight it more. Good, good. All right, that's awesome. Okay, let's do that. So when you highlight slowly, you leave room for more highlights in later on, and for the darks or the midtones, not really darks, midtones to show well too. So it's perfect. Because the fingers, when they're round, so where they turn and there's this round, it's a soft shadow. It's not a harsh. It doesn't stop in a harsh. It turns very, it turns dark very softly. It's good. Okay, again, I'm trying not to darken too much, or highlight, actually, I'm sorry, highlight too much. Okay, good. One more. I'm gonna bring in some color in here, just reload some burnt sienna, yellow ochre, and white. Oh, put this in here. All right, let's do this one here. I'm always looking at the shape. How does it look like? Does it look soft? Does it look nice? Yeah. It's darker than what you're seeing on the monitor. Okay, good. Now, Okay, so in here, there's skin because it's her palm. It's right there. So it's not a void in there. So there is skin. So we need to show that there's skin, but it's dark. It's in the back. So I'm going to take, the best thing to do is I'm going to try to take the skin tone that we have here, which is burnt sienna, yellow ochre, and white. Mix them together, not too much white, enough white to see the color on the dark. And then I'm going to add, because there's white now, I'm going to add ultramarine violet. So the ultramarine violet is going to sit here. It's going to be added to this mixture that has a bit of white. So I should be able to see this. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Yeah. That's a suggestion of a skin inside, but it's dark. So it doesn't look like, because in a minute, okay, we are going to be highlighting this more. And when we highlight this more, this is going to look darker. It's going to look like really like a black spot in there. So we don't want that to happen. But what I'm trying to do is to make this gap in here like a skin tone, but dark in the further inside. And then, so when I highlight this, this doesn't look awkward. Right now, it looks maybe too light. Oh my God, that looks way too light. Anyway, okay, hold on. On the monitor, it looks too light. Let's take, now burnt sienna, yellow ochre, and I'm increasing the amount of white now. Wipe my brush so I can control. This is nice, but I would probably highlight a little bit more. Okay. Let's start highlighting here. And you see, because I highlighted this, I didn't start from the back. I highlighted this part. This looks like it's further in. If I started highlighting from here, then this will look on the same level. I'm highlighting slowly, very, very slowly, and really kind of carefully. Value in here on this side is lighter. Then let's highlight this. I will adjust all of this later on. I'm just trying to get the shapes going. Shape of the hand. I'll address the details later on. Okay, let's start highlighting the other hand. Maybe we can finish it if we can't finish it tonight. We can finish it, you know,
Next week.
Next week. Yeah. Okay, so mid-tone. Again, I'm using burnt sienna, yellow ochre, and white, and I'm adding a touch of ultramarine violet in it. So I want to highlight, but I want to highlight slowly. See, this part is quite dark, so I'm gonna pick some ultramarine violet, more ultramarine violet in here. Okay, that's good. Again, all of this area here, side is really dark. And once I start highlighting, this side is not going to look that dark. Okay. So you'll see that I'm highlighting the whole thing, right? Like, and it's not really, let me see. Yeah, it's better. It's good. It's good. I'm going to take more ultramarine violet. It will dry darker, but it is lighter than what I had before. And whatever is highlighted too much, that's okay. I can always go back, use a bit of black and push back the value, make it darker. If I don't do the whole thing, once I start highlighting part of that finger, the strong highlight, if I'm highlighting over the original dark, it's going to look really, really harsh. So that's why I do the whole thing, all of the fingers. And then I go back and I start highlighting slowly.
Fantastic, though.
Oh, thank you. So there we go. In between, and that's okay, in between too, because there's a palm in there, like there's her hand in there. It's not dark, it's not black in there. Okay, again, now let's highlight a little bit more. So I'm going to take burnt sienna, yellow ochre, take white, and a touch of ultramarine violet, because it makes it more, it tones it down. Touch. Let's see. It tones it down. Okay. I'm going to start where the light is. And that's not the final highlight. You see, I'm trying to ignore some of the details that I'm seeing in there. Some of the details of the skin. But what I'm trying to do is a soft transition from the white to the dark, so I don't have a sharp line in the middle. Okay. It's going to be a little bit harder than this because the nails are facing. facing us. So, right, it's coming along. Okay, again. Although this is what I'm seeing in the picture, but this is too harsh here. So I'm going to soften this. And I'm using, my colors are not very thick, because what happens is if I'm not using thick paint, then when it dries, because it's drying over dark, it will dry darker, but it's soft. It's a soft dark. It's not a harsh dark. So I'm glazing slowly. Now again. Okay, I'm going to highlight more now, more white into the same mixture. Water. Wipe. I'm trying to ignore a bit what I'm seeing in there, just because I need to see those fingers. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm not really following exactly what I'm seeing in the, I'm following the shape, but in terms of, I'm trying to concentrate on the movement of those fingers, the shape, how they look, and then I'll adjust. Adjust the detail later on. I'm trying to see where the highlight is and how are they looking when I put them together. How do they look? So this finger here is slightly coming this way down here, and this one is coming this way. So eventually what I'll do to shape it properly is take black, push this in, and that looks much better. push that one in this way. Much better. Then I will deal with all of the rest. So if I need to deal with this knuckle being, this is this one here, this. If I need to deal with this, I'll deal with it after. But first, I want to make sure that the movement looks good. It looks nice. It should look interesting. There. It should look, the hand should look delicate. Okay. Darkening a bit. It's amazing how once you use strong highlight, how hard it is to darken this area. All right, let's continue. Now I'm just trying to find out where the knuckle is. In relation with the rest of these ones. So using 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So they're on an angle. If you can't see it, it's hard to paint something like that. You need to see it. You need to see the fingers. See the fingers. Huh? The fingers. The fingers. Oh. You see the movement of the fingers. Okay. You know, like you want to stop and look at it and see what you're coming up. Yes, study. So I'm adding a touch of white now. I need to highlight a bit this area. So this one here goes in this way a little bit. More white. More white in here, soft white. Soft white, soft, strong soft white in here. This is now darks. So I'm going to go back to ultramarine violet and burnt sienna. Okay, because this area here is a little bit thinner in terms of paint than what I'm adding in here. So it needs to be, add a bit of black in here too. Okay, that's better. I'm picking up a bit of black in here. Oh, geez. I need some bit of depth. When I was listening to the masters, that about Sargent and Whistler, and those artists were not afraid of using black. They included black in there. So did, what's his name? Christine. The one we did, the color chart, the one you use, Zorn. So did Zorn. He was not afraid of using black. Black is used in the right place. It's perfect. It's good. I'm just working with values now. So I'm going to take, again, burnt sienna, and I'm going to put a bit of black in my burnt sienna. Because this here needs a bit of dark, and here too. They're a bit flat, but they're looking too flat on the camera and on the monitor. They're not that flat in here.
No, no, it's not doesn't look flat. It looks
A
perfect.
bit. And
No,
I think I know why. I think I know why.
No.
Okay, hold on.
I don't know how the other bells.
This needs to be this. Anyway, you know what I'm trying to do? I'm trying to get the paint, the thickness of the paint, because this paint is thick here because I added too many layers of highlights, and this was too thin because it was only the first layer or the second layer, so it wasn't enough. So I'm working on that here, and then I'll work on the highlight again. Okay, let's take a nice clean burnt sienna, yellow ochre, get some white going. A bit more white. Again. Now, because I'm highlighting, I'm paying more attention to this, to the shape of the fingers. Okay. This is, I'm just adjusting the values because this is drying very, very dark right now. So there's disconnection between the part where it's highlighted and the part that is dark, because, you know, acrylic dries darker. So I have to adjust. And soften the darks in between the fingers too, the harsh lines. This hand is harder than this one. because it's in the dark. Okay, that's better. Probably tomorrow morning I would look at it, and when, you know, it's daylight, I'll come back to it and see if it needs some glazing, adjusting. Okay, so for the nails, okay, before we finish, for the nails, I would put a suggestion of the nail. So let's take the skin tone the way it is, a combination of burnt sienna, some ultramarine violet, and that's what I would do. I would put a suggestion, so it would be like this. Oh, sorry, it needs to be darker, slightly darker, with ultramarine violet. That's it. It's kind of like the beginning of a line, and it stops. It just goes like this, it stops. This one here. Or if I can't do it, I'll do it in the lighter color, and I'll show you in a minute. So that one, like that, and I stop. So I don't do the whole thing. I don't do a line that starts from here and ends there. I just do a suggestion, that's all. I suggest a hint of a nail. Hold on. I'm adding a touch of white now in the same skin tone, but with a bit of more white. This one here, because it's in a darker area, I'm just going to take, again, suggestion of a nail. This one here too, but I would maybe leave it. Okay, let's do this one again. Ultramarine violet, burnt sienna, small round brush, clean my brush, and again, suggestion, again. more white in the skin tone, more white. So nails are skin tone, but kind of softly lighter. She does have, oh, actually she doesn't have, I don't think she has, does she have nail polish on? She does.
Like a,
She does, right?
yeah, does look like it.
But on the left hand, it looks like she doesn't.
You're right.
And it's the shape of the nail too at the bottom.
Can have a shadow on the nail.
I know, but that I'm not gonna go there. It's too harsh, way too harsh. I'll show you why, Ingrid. Look, we're gonna go into this. Then we have to do the shadow right here,
Mm-hmm.
right? Then we have to do darker here. This part. See this part?
Yeah.
Do you want me to get closer? Here.
Yeah.
Okay, so this part is darker. This part is darker. This
Mhm.
part is lighter. One line, one little line, very thin line, and it's lighter. So we're getting into way too much detail in here
Mm.
if we do that. That's why I'm trying to avoid details. Like, there's way too much detail. I'm gonna try to focus a bit. I think the camera is going crazy now. All right, okay, come on, go. See what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
all those lines, darker, lighter, darker, too many,
Mhm.
too many. We can try another thing. You know what we can try? We can try to do the tip of the nail. You know, like the light.
French manicure.
Yeah, French manicure. A suggestion of a French manicure. Like this is like a very soft suggestion. Let's try. We'll see. If we find that it's not working, we won't do it. We can remove it. But that might work. Actually, it's not bad. Oh, just that's not bad at all. So that would work. Just take a bit of more ultramarine with mixed with, and it's a glaze. It's not heavy paint. It's really a glaze. It's just kind of a very soft suggestions of darks and lights in here. This is good. Okay, enough. I think it's good. Okay, so I'm gonna zoom out. Oh. All right. gonna clean up the nails a bit. This just the shape. Just I'm fixing just the shape a bit. All right. You know, work on it and see how it goes. If you like it, you know, if this is what you want to see and you like it and you're happy with it, you know, that's fine. Go for it. It always it's up to you how you feel when you look at it.
Mm-hmm. It's so true. These are well-worked hands.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, a Walmart, a what?
A well-worked hands.
Oh, yes.
I think she's decorated a lot of cakes.
Yes. Actually, it is her hand. These are her hands.
Yeah.
So-
It looks like, you know, like she's a baker, but she does have a ring. No, I don't know.
Sorry, she does what?
There a ring on one of them?
Yeah,
Yes.
in the third, there is a gold ring.
Right here. There's one
Yeah.
here
Yeah,
and there's one here.
yeah.
Yeah.
Not a bad idea. I would eventually highlight this one here a bit. Fix this knuckle. And highlight the hands here, like the fingers. Highlight them
Mhm.
here. Right here. Come on, what is that? This is more like a glaze. It's not really heavy paint, which allows me to apply the highlights softly and work on the shape. Because, you know, sometimes you lose the shape when
Yeah.
you have to redo it several times to get it back. Right, okay. Out of focus, the camera is out of focus. Let's fix that for a minute before I stop recording. All right, now, one more thing. I just noticed one more thing here. Let's take this color of the hand, darker with ultramarine violet, and push this up. It was bending. It was like a harsh bend in here. Okay. Let's see. All right.